Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Today, I was asked a very interesting question. I was asked on my opinions on video game DLC nowadays. So I thought I would share my opinion, what I think of DLC, with you guys. Again, this is all subjective, this is all an opinion, this is all what I think, blah 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 blah. Let's get to it. What do I think of video game DLC nowadays? How it's handled, how it's presented, what we've been given so far. Well, let's start with the good. Let's talk about some DLC that has been released that I really like. Really good DLC. What I would think would be good examples. Mass Effect DLC. BioWare's DLC for their Mass Effect games, 2 and 3, have been excellent. There's been nothing wrong with them. They've been reasonably priced, and sometimes even gives you a lot more content than what the price would suggest. Each of the separate stories, the separate side missions, or even little DLC campaigns, if you want to call them that, the DLC missions, the DLC story missions, are some of the best, if not the best, DLC out there. They make every dollar, every penny worth it. The story in each of those DLCs is well written, great voice acting. I mean, when you think about it, all of your companions, side characters, the male Shepard and femme Shep, all that voice acting that goes in just making this one DLC story. You gotta imagine how much that goes in, and you have to have this affect the plot afterwards, since Mass Effect is one of those games where everything you do is going to be mentioned later on. So voice acting in those DLCs is spectacular and really well done. Not just that, BioWare take the time with their story mission DLCs to add set pieces, really big set pieces that you can't find in the main game. Add a bunch of creative and unique features to the game that's, well, again, not in the main game, such as the Shadow Broker DLC for Mass Effect 2. It added a vehicle section where you control one of those flying cars you see all the time. That is so cool, that's so unique, and you do nothing else like that throughout the entire game, which makes that DLC all the more special, along with completely unique locations, completely unique characters, completely unique situations, and added little bonuses and touches. More than worth the money, and adds so much more to the game. And the same can be said for its sequel, Mass Effect 3's DLC, Citadel, which adds so freaking much for the price tag. It could almost be its own game by itself. There's so much added to it. Unique locations, unique situations, mini games, and a section of the story where you and your crewmates have a party. One of the most famous moments in Mass Effect ever, the party in the Citadel DLC, is completely customizable and unique. The party, the freaking party where you just hang out with all your companions, is so dynamic. You can make the choices. Every choice you make in the party completely changes the outcome and character dialogue. Oh my god! The Mass Effect DLC is amazing, and it adds so much for the price. It is worth every penny, if not more. That is the kind of DLC I like. The Mass Effect DLC is freaking awesome. That is the kind of DLC I want to see in games. Another game kind of similar to Mass Effect DLC, if you don't know already, I freaking love Mass Effect DLC, is Metro Last Light. Metro Last Light has significant and substantial DLC similar to Mass Effect. It adds unique situations, unique locations, unique elements that you won't find in the main game, especially in the developer pack. I love DLC like this. In the developer pack, and Metro Last Light's DLC, called the developer pack, you get to play around with the assets of the game. You get to look at the character models. You get to fight the enemies in this unique arena and get to set up like little events where you fight the enemies. You get to test out every single weapon in the game with infinite ammo. DLC like that is freaking sweet. But this is the kind of DLC I recommend and I absolutely love. And before we get to the DLC that I hate and I do not support, let me tell you about the DLC that I may not 100% love or even like, but I'm suckered into them and I have to buy them. Weapon packs and armor packs. DLC that gives you unique weapons and unique armor that aren't already in the game, I am a goddamn sucker for, and I cannot lie. When I see an armor or weapon that's completely unique and cool looking and isn't in the main game, I can't lie. I am forced. I am suckered into. I have no choice but to purchase it. I may not 100% like it. I may not 100% agree with it. I would have loved if that was already in the game and I didn't have to freaking buy it. But it looks so cool that I have to. I've been suckered into this by games like Transformers War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, Primal Carnage with the different skins for your characters and the dinosaurs, Warhammer 40k Space Marine with the dozens and dozens of different Space Marine armors. Hell, I've even been suckered in by Mass Effect to buy the weapons and armor packs. God! I know I shouldn't be buying these, I shouldn't be supporting these. These are things that should be in the main game, and I support that, but they look so cool! I don't necessarily want to spend my money, but they look so cool! I'm not gonna lie. I'm a sucker. I'm suckered into that kind of DLC, weapons and armor packs. I can't resist. I can't help myself. The publishers and the devs got me by the short and danglies when I see these awesome armor and weapons. Because I want to use it. I want to play around with it. Because it looks cool. I really believe that stuff should be in the main game and shouldn't be separate, but it looks so cool, I have to buy it. I know I've said that a dozen times right now, and I know it's a piss-poor reason to throw away money for such almost meaningless DLC, but it looks so cool! However, some DLC that I have been suckered in by, but have been surprised by, are a few map packs from the games Borderlands 2, Crysis, and Titanfall. Especially Titanfall. I know some people, it is debatable, and while I do 100% support Titanfall's DLC, the $10 map packs, that's because they're really good maps. They're really well made, and they're really fun to play on. Same can be said for games like Crysis and Borderlands 2. With Borderlands 2, you have the whole loot aspects, and usually these maps have unique creatures and weapons you can get from them, and bonus XP. With Crysis, it's just the sake that it looks pretty. Crysis has some of the best graphics out there, and the maps look good. They may not 100% be fun to play on, but they could look good because it's Crysis. However, map packs that I was genuinely surprised by and really love are the map packs in Titanfall. Those are really good. Alright, enough with the good, enough of the stuff I am suckered in by. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. The DLC I freaking hate. I freaking hate pre-order DLC. I hate it. I hate it with a freaking passion. What should drive people to get pre-orders is the bonus crap you'll get with it. Statues, the soundtrack, an art book, something like that. That should be in pre-orders, not pieces of the game that have been already made. For instance, Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm going to pre-order it. I'm not going to lie, and that's for all the bonus stuff I'm getting with it. But I shouldn't have to pre-order it to get this stuff. Armor, weapons, mounts, in-game items I can only get if I pre-order your stupid game at full price? I wouldn't mind if it was separate DLC, like the stuff I told you about that I'm suckered into, but the fact that the only way you will ever see this stuff, ever, is if you pre-order the damn game? Screw that! You've already made this stuff. You've already made this armor and weapons and bonus materials. But unless we order your game early and make sure you get a little extra money, we are never going to see this stuff ever again? Screw that! That is bullcrap. You shouldn't have to use in-game content to make people to pre-order your games. Add a bunch of extra stuff. Statues, art books, soundtracks, freaking t-shirts. Don't split off stuff you've already made in the game. Don't take out a chunk of your game. Don't take out a chunk of your game that's already been made and it's going to be stuff people want to play with. Don't take out a chunk of game you've already made and then separate it, and the only way you'll ever experience it is if you get the game before everyone else, if you spend your money before the release date. That is bullcrap. I do not like that. And I hate the fact that it freaking works. I am pre-ordering Dragon Age Inquisition and Alien Isolation just to get the pre-order stuff. And I hate that. I hate that. But what I hate the most is when they don't tell you whether it's timed, whether it's going to be pre-order for a while, and then just be a timed exclusive, like you'll be able to buy the DLC separately. I hate when they don't tell you that, so you're pre-ordering out of fear, out of you're never going to be able to play this stuff ever if you never pre-order. That shit is wrong, in my opinion. People aren't buying the game because they're really excited for it. They're buying it and pre-ordering it out of fear that they'll never be able to play something. That this piece of game, this gameplay, or these items you will never be able to experience unless you get the game before release date. That sucks. At least tell people, hey, you'll get this stuff when you pre-order, but it will be later available separate. I hate it when they don't do that and you pre-order out of fear. Other DLC I do not like, besides pre-order DLC, is freaking voice packs. Voice packs, really? And I'm looking at you, Call of Duty. A Snoop Dogg voice pack? Are you serious? And what's even worse is that people are paying actual money for this shit. Really? A Snoop Dogg voice pack. And not only that, other games are jumping on the voice pack bandwagon and having stuff like that. Character voice packs, multiplayer voice packs are bullshit. It's simple as that. Weapon skins are also bullshit, and weapon camo. That stuff is so stupid. Oh, you have to pay money to have the option to make your weapon look a different color. Bullshit. That is stupid DLC, and that is a waste of money, and that should be in the game. That should already be in the game, different weapon skins. It should be stuff you unlock by progressing through the game, so that it feels like a reward. Weapon skins and voice packs are bullshit. Last off, and this is the DLC that pisses me off the most. I hate a mode. Separate game mode DLC. I hate it. When a horde mode, single player, multiplayer mode, or just a bonus gameplay mode of some sort is DLC. That is bullshit. This is stuff that should have been in the main game. An entire game mode, which would have added so much more value to your game and would have probably made people want to buy the game more. You're gonna split it off and charge us money for a game mode? Something that a game should have multiple modes. It should have a single player, multiplayer, co-op, survival horde mode. That stuff should be already in the game so that it adds more value to the product. You're telling me you split off an entire mode, an entire gameplay mode, for Christ's sakes, so that you could make a little more money off us. That is just wrong. People who have entire single player campaign DLC, entire multiplayer, entire co-op, entire survival horde DLC, that is wrong, and I do not support that at all. Whew! So, that is my opinion on DLC. I love DLC that is in the same vein as Mass Effect and Metro Last Light. Really good story-based DLC with a lot of new content, extra meaty content that is different from the main game. I am suckered into, and I can't admit it, even though I'm suckered into it, I like weapon and armor packs that are completely unique. I hate pre-order DLC, I hate pre-order gameplay content DLC. I hate voice packs, and I hate weapon skin DLC, and I utterly freaking despise when entire game modes are taken out and made into DLC. But hey, that's just my opinion. This is all subjective. All subjective. This is all coming from me. This does not represent anybody else but me, unless you agree with my opinion. Well, let me know. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I love reading comments, so leave comments below what you think of the video, what you think of the subject matter. Let me know in the comments below. I love reading comments. And if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed what I'm talking about, if you enjoyed my gameplay, if you enjoyed the subject matter, if you enjoyed anything to do with this video, please hit the like button. It really helps. And if you want to keep up to date with my upcoming videos, if you want to truly support me, please subscribe. It helps a lot. Anyways, this has been a video, and I'll see you guys in the next one, so later.